All right, Jeff, the stage is yours.
All right, well, thanks very much again, everybody. As I start off every Tuesday night get together, thanks for making time for us, but also making time for yourselves, because I think these are really important, and I hope everybody appreciates some of the things we're trying to put in place for y'all, especially over the last couple of weeks. As you saw from the email that went out about tonight's Zoom meeting, we've got a couple of really nice announcements, which we mentioned in the letter. The addition of 2 new products to our product line. We now have added another flavor to our line of tinctures, and it's orange. I tried some as a test a couple of weeks ago and went and picked mine up this morning because I can do that on will call, and it's really good. I like it. It may become my new favorite, actually. So that's good news too. We also have a new cream. It's called Renew, and it's formulated specifically to help people with some rather major skin ailments, psoriasis and eczema and things like that specifically. Tomorrow night, if you're able to join, Lindy and Victoria will be having their Wednesday night product meeting, and tomorrow night they're going to be talking about the new products. So if you have questions about those and questions about the ingredients and how they do what they do when they do it, to who they do it to, please join them tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, I believe. So those are the 2 new product announcements. We have a couple of, we have another product announcement that's not quite ready for broadcast tonight, but stay tuned. Hopefully we'll be able to roll that out by the end of the week or perhaps by next week. And that's the one I'm really excited about. I'm sorry to tease everybody, but I'm really excited about the one we're going to be announcing any day now. A couple of things about some documents. As you know, we try our best on a daily basis, and we share these things with you on a weekly basis as far as the tools that we keep trying to provide and create for you guys. A couple of things that are available. They won't actually be available to you until probably the end of the week. We'll send out an email. But we have a couple of things. One is called a quick start, which is basically, it lays out in 2 pages, I believe, how to get your business up and running very quickly. It does deal with some of the logistical stuff as far as your setting up your ACH and things like that, but it helps you set some real short-term goals. Again, all designed to create a success as soon as possible. I wish we would have had these things 3 months ago. We didn't, but they're coming out now, and I think they're going to be really valuable. We also have, what we're working on is basically a 1-page business overview, which is, as it sounds, it's 1 page with an overview, bird's eye view of the business. We are also going to be developing, again, hopefully within the next week or so, or within the next week and a half, a companion piece, which will be a PDF slideshow or a PowerPoint slideshow that you'll be able to access, so that if you are talking to people, you can use that, if you're meeting with people in person, you can use that slideshow to help illustrate the business opportunity. Once again, so that you don't feel like you have to do it all. Hopefully that will be allowed or can be used in personal meetings. And also if you want to get on Zooms with people, since it's very hard to get people locked down to meet you somewhere for a conversation. And I think that is going to be really powerful too. And so that'll be ready. We're working on it now. Another thing, and we're going to be throwing a lot at you tonight, folks. And again, you can go back and watch this again because it's being recorded. I encourage everybody to go into their back office and under library, go to the leadership booklet. I don't know if you guys have looked at that. I'll be honest with you. I looked at it 4 months ago and really hadn't paid a whole lot of attention since then. Well, that has been amended. It has been updated, and it is now live in your back office to access. And I'm encouraging everybody to go back and take a look at that, because if you've been on the Zooms with us and hearing about all these things we've been talking about and hearing the concepts, they're all in your leadership booklet. And so I think that's a very powerful tool as well. And I encourage everybody, like we do, kind of point out some things each week, saying, make a note of this one. This is important. This is important. That's an important one too. So please check out your leadership booklet. We also have next week, we have an announcement coming, which we can't broadcast yet, but we're going to call it a promotion. We call it a promotion because we're going to kind of roll it out and see how it works, see if it has benefit to the ambassadors, etc. I will tell you that I don't know that I've been as excited about any single announcement that we've made as much as I am about this one. I think it's going to be, I think, a wonderful additional resource. It's a promotion again. I can't really say that much about it because we're still running through the approval stages and still working out some of the kinks in it as far as the details. But stay tuned, and I think we're going to hopefully announce that next Tuesday. And it's really going to help. I hope people kickstart their business going to 2020. Like I said, I haven't been as excited about anything as much as this one. So I'm sorry, that's all I can give you for now. So just going to kind of whet your appetite. Another big announcement tonight, and heads up for this one. We have just within the last 24 hours amended our VIP program. We've talked to a lot of ambassadors, some of who do a lot of their business through VIP programs, others that don't, that want to, etc. And if you all recall, the minimum BV that a person must purchase to be a VIP member was 90 BV, which comes out to, I'm guessing, roughly $130, $140, I guess. Somebody in the home office from Omaha can correct me on that if that's incorrect, but about 160 it translates to. We have now reduced the minimum BV required for VIP members to 45 BV a month. There's a lot of reasons why we did that. One of them is to attract more VIP consumers and thinking that they should be able to be rewarded if they can. Before, you would have to literally order 2 products, I think, in order to reach that BV value. And we wanted to get that down to the point where somebody could order 1 product, because that again allows them to get in, try the product, make a commitment for 3 months, and hopefully in the long run convert them to ambassadors. So we can talk about that a little bit later. If you'd like, you can ask questions about that. But that's a big one too. Now, again, with VIP, again, the trade-off is you'll have less BV coming to you as an ambassador, but hopefully it will generate more VIP customers. And again, I'm really excited about all this stuff we've got going on. So anyway, last thing, we did have our event last week, which went very, very well. And one of the special treats of the evening was, if you were on the Zoom last week and you heard Greg talk about his son with Tourette's, it's a very powerful testimony that Greg shared with us. And even more amazing for those of you that are in the Charlotte area, and for those of you especially that were able to join us last week at our event, Connor, Greg's 9-year-old son with Tourette's, actually joined us at the end of the meeting and gave his own testimony about the product. And it was slightly more humorous than Greg's, 11, I'm sorry, 11 years old now. It was slightly more humorous than Greg's testimony was last week, where Greg's testimony last week, I had tears in my eyes. Connor has a great little sense of humor on him. He was amazing, and he has expressed, as Greg shared with us tonight, he's expressed a desire to get up and talk again. So be careful what you wish for, Connor, because we're going to be rolling you out, because to just listen to the recording that Greg had of him, not long ago, and the difference now, it's pretty amazing. He's not a big fan of the flavor of the tinctures. He said that it's kind of like taking a drop of CBD and putting it on a blade of grass. So anyway, he had quite an impact, and was again, was very powerful having him there with us. So anyway, so tonight we're going to talk a little bit about marketing as part of our Business Builders series. Some of this stuff is an extension of what we talked about a couple of weeks ago as far as some Facebook strategies and stuff. We're going to give you an overview. A lot of times we think about, we talk about marketing and we talk about all these things, and then realize that there are some people, I'm fortunate, I've been self-employed my whole life, so are things that I've had to learn along the way. I never had any, business classes or anything, but there's some concepts that I think we're gonna that may have some value to you, to everybody here tonight, when we're discussing marketing. And we're gonna pull up the screen here, do my best to fuddle through the. There we go. And I'll start by saying there's a lot of stuff in here. Again, you can watch the recording of this. We may even have a document coming out with all these notes and the notes that I'm using tonight. This is not designed to make you feel kind of intimidated and like you have to do every single thing that we're going to be talking about here tonight. I'm going to get mine. Okay. But find out what's valuable in here for you, and you can use that. Starting with the definition of marketing, first of all, marketing is anytime you have a contact, or we have a contact or a connect or an engagement with our consumer. If we're B2B, it's with another business. If we're B2C, it's business to consumer. So all of us as ambassadors, we are the business. We are the brand, we are the business, and the people we're talking to, whether they're customers or whether they're potential ambassadors, those are the end targets for us. And so anytime we have any contact, whether it's a Facebook post, email, text, whatever it is, that is an example of marketing. So we're going to be talking about two different types of marketing specifically tonight. But the definition of marketing is the action of a business promoting and selling their products or services. And it includes market research. It includes advertising. And remember, you're the business that we're talking about. Any company that's selling a product or a service or an opportunity like us, the concepts of marketing and sales are really important, as they can mean the difference between success and failure in most cases. And while they're often used interchangeably or grouped together, they're really two different concepts, marketing and sales. And it's important to understand the differences. Strategies to understand consumer needs, influence customer perceptions, and identify how a company, again, that's you, can capitalize on this. The end result of the marketing process and what it supports is making sales easier. So marketing techniques and strategies are really based on what it takes to identify the right product, the right opportunity for the right person, and what it needs, what needs to be communicated to target the customers in order to ensure success in sales. And there's two different marketing strategies we're going to be talking about. The first is inbound. It's now come to be known as attraction marketing. The name pretty much speaks for itself. It means focusing on drawing potential customers in by creating content that attracts people to engage. The second type is outbound. At one point, it was referred to actually as interruption marketing. Not as bad as it sounds, but it's pushing a message out to try to reach as many people as possible. So before you pick a marketing strategy, you need to first figure out your goals, your marketing goals. What are they? What are you looking to achieve? Do you need to see some quick short-term wins? Because that determines your marketing strategy too. Quick small sales, quick successes, quick likes, quick shares. All of those are incremental stages of success with a marketing strategy. Do you not need something so quick? Can you wait it out with a longer-term strategy to get wins in the future? Increase sales. This one shouldn't be a surprise because it does tend to be the ultimate objective for everyone's marketing efforts, actually. You can measure your success in terms of revenue or based on the business model and what your return is for the effort you put in. Give me 1 second here. Generate leads or opportunities. If you want a more real-time measurement of marketing effectiveness, pick an outcome that shows up earlier in the sales cycle. Again, something incremental, something smaller. If you have a long sales cycle, and sometimes the education that we use for our product, it may take more than a few days or a week or two to have people respond. So pick an outcome that can show up quickly. You can use different types of lead companies also. If you do that, we recommend using a high-end company, or you can generate leads by, by what and how you post or send out in terms of your materials. Acquire new customers. Bringing a customer on board is a great objective for our business, regardless of whether you sell to the individuals or have them join your team as an ambassador. Reduce churn or retain customers. That's pretty self-explanatory as well. But if you have a sales business, it's a pretty important measurement for long-term success based on your ability to retain your customers. Upsell and cross-sell. If you have an established set of customers already, a great way to grow is to sell more of the same product to existing customers. We have a rather extensive product line. You can try upselling them on that, and don't be afraid of that phrase. I think you're doing them a favor in the long run. Or you can sell new solutions to existing customers, which is cross-sell as well. Improve awareness. It's easy to say that raising your awareness is a goal of marketing, but it is difficult to measure. If this is the goal, then you might choose a resulting indicator as measurement for awareness, like inbound leads, your web traffic, your likes, your shares, positive media mentions, etc. Comments on your posts, things like that. Increase customer satisfaction. This is important. There's many ways you can do this. Positive marketing, and especially following up with each and every customer. Increasing web traffic. Sometimes your goal is pretty simple, like just getting more people to show up, or more people to like, or again, share or comment on your social media accounts. Your refined go-to-market strategy, whether you're just starting out or you've been in this for a month or two, and you're still trying to find the right strategy to bring the products to the market you choose. And that's everybody you have in contact with, your friends, colleagues, other people you talk to about this. The right strategy can make or break your success, and it's very personal. It's very individual. It's like with the scripts, we tell you to make them your own, find out where your language, where your truth is in that, and make them your own. You also don't want to measure things just based on the completion of the task, the end game. Again, focus on the result of your efforts, whether it's accelerating leads in addition to sales, but also developing a pipeline and things like that. One of the most critical needs is to let people know what you have to offer. If you don't let people know what you're doing, what you have to offer, then how exactly does your business grow? You got to get it out there. You have to let everybody know. Don't be afraid to talk about this. Be proud of it. The more customers know, the more that they can get attracted. Because the more people you tell, the more likely you will get someone to join in, purchase the product, become an ambassador. It's a numbers game, which means the more people you tell, the more chance you have for the yes. If you only tell one person, then your chances are pretty slim that you're going to get that yes. But if you tell 10, well, now you have a 1 in 10 odds. And the odds are much better the more people you tell, obviously. So marketing is the method that is used to promote the brand. And again, you are the brand. We've been talking about this, but the more marketing and promoting you do with all these different strategies, and that includes talking to people, the better chances you have for people to see what you have to offer. And this is something that I'm seeing, on a daily basis. As I get a little more kind of vocal with some of the people that I didn't approach initially, it's interesting when they find out specifically what it is that I'm doing. The more ways you can market, the better chances you have for people to buy the product or join your team. Bigger audience and get recognized. Calling or texting one person at a time, it's a slower process, and we still recommend that you do this. But if you want to get it out to more than one person at a time, this is where marketing is so important and comes into play, to try to get your message out to a larger group of people. There used to be only one type of marketing, and now we've got, over 100 types of marketing platforms. And again, pick a couple of these, stick with them. You don't need to pick all of these, what we're going to be talking about here tonight, because it is a lot. So now let's talk about inbound marketing, attraction marketing, okay? It focuses on drawing potential customers in, okay? It focuses on creating quality content that pulls people towards you, your company, the product, where they naturally want to be. And by aligning the content you publish with their interests, you naturally attract inbound traffic. And you can then convert, close, and delight. And that's one of the industry sayings. Convert, close, and delight. That's a sales term. So you have to attract your customers' attention fast. And you literally have 2 seconds to do this. You know, when your audience is scrolling through a search engine, scrolling their Facebook feed, they're looking for words or images that stand out to them. This is selective attention, where your audience is only going to have their radar on for certain words and images. They're looking directly at your headlines, and your words, your images matter in attracting their attention big time. Now, the cool thing about making up your own headlines is that old school headlines repurposed for today's topics still work to grab customer attention like gangbusters. A lot of the old methods, there's still value to those, if that's what that means. And that's because, you know, core human needs really haven't changed. You know, Kathy still wants to lose weight, Joe still wants to gain weight, and Sarah doesn't, you know, feel pretty, and Mark can't sleep. You know, Jimmy wants to look younger. The difference between then and now is distractions are everywhere. Everywhere you look, every time you turn around. So make your headlines powerful, your images thoughtful. Take the time to understand a little bit about how human psychology works, because you only have 2 seconds to capture their attention. And knowing who you are trying to attract is very important when picking your headline. Again, your headline can be words, it can be an image, but knowing who you're trying to attract is really, really important. What are their needs? What are their wants? What are their desires? And that's the core, that's the foundation of any type of marketing right there. Needs, wants, and desires. This is also more of an approach than a strategy, the inbound attraction marketing. Consumers don't want to be sold to. They want to be educated. And the more personal you are in marketing, it's added the competitive advantage of reaching those who have already taken the first step towards a purchase, for instance. You know, our end goal is to sell them, but by approaching them, by educating them, it will not only help the sale, but it will help keep them a customer, and will show them why you are better than the others, the other competitors, the other products, the other companies. Creating quality content that pulls people toward your company and product. You know, if you can develop an effective strategy for creating content based on an understanding of your target audience, and this is, for instance, if you belong, one of our ambassadors belongs to a group of dog owners, and they're very, very loyal. You factor that into whatever marketing you're going to be doing to them, understanding them. And you'll not only drive the leads, but you'll also increase your sales. That's a given. So giving valuable information away before asking people to buy anything is key when you're creating your content. I'm going to say that one more time because it's really important. Giving valuable information away before asking people to buy anything is key. That's what the attraction marketing is. Your goal is to send a clear message out with your content that you are attuned to their needs and you're ready to help solve their problems. So studies prove that you need to send out at least one content per day in your marketing strategy to be successful. I think on our Zoom about the Facebook strategies, I think we determined that it takes at least 2 to stay relevant on Facebook. You can use your broadcasts on a blog or a Facebook post, even a text to your target audience. I will say that creating custom content, and for those of you that haven't seen Jenny Flowers' webpage or Facebook page, if you haven't seen Rachel Atkins' webpage, again, I encourage you to reach out to them because they're both amazing examples of custom content, and they do it in a way that's not pushy, but it's believable and rather infectious. For the most part, custom content, it's created for us to communicate with existing or new customers. So, be creative and post daily. That's what I would say. That's what I would suggest. Your target market prefers to do their own research before making a purchase. This is why when you put out your content, it has good informative information on it, so they get their questions answered. Make sure you're always available to answer the questions that they might have. This is where you can use your scripts when you're answering questions or talking to these people. So as you can see, there are a ton of free inbound marketing funnels, as we call them, and we're going to touch just on a couple of these. As you see, a blog, a blog is a terrific way to answer your prospects' questions, inaccessible, long form content. And the more educational your blog is, and the more frequently you update it with fresh content, the more likely you are to become what we call a trusted partner, a trusted brand that they remember. And that's important. Trust in a relationship, especially when you're doing something like this. There's other social media platforms. A lot of people only think of Facebook, but there's also Twitter and Instagram. And there's also YouTube, use of videos, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Facebook Messenger, which is really powerful as we talked about, Google Plus, WhatsApp, Snapchat, etc. And there's a ton more of those. There's also webinars. This is something that has become a very valuable tool, and it's important. It's not always easy to inject personality into your written content, with your posts and some of that stuff. And that's where the webinar comes in. It's basically an internet seminar with a lecture style content presented to an audience. And with this format, and it could also be over a Zoom, for instance. This is a perfect example of what a webinar could look like. With this format, a member of your team or you has the opportunity to provide the information we've been talking about and do it in a highly engaging and a very personable way. And that's important. The presence of a real person, even if it's just, like my voice right now, it creates the feeling that your brand is in direct conversation, with your prospects and your audience. And once again, the ability to request information from your prospects as an entrance fee, quote unquote, makes the webinar or Zoom a particularly good lead generation tactic, actually. Video series. Video content is huge. As I think it was covered in our Zoom about Facebook a couple of weeks back, video content is huge, and it's still growing, and it's engaging, and most importantly, it's effective. I can't encourage you all enough to look at some video type applications of this, whether they're Facebook Lives that you record or whether you begin your own YouTube channel, for instance. They're incredibly effective. And it's what people really want to see when they're scrolling through Facebook or Instagram. And what it does, and this is why it works, is because it brings your brand to life, as opposed to just a static image, one after the other, or words. And so whereas, it pays to make your written content long form, video is best when it's, bite size, when there's nuggets of information. And of course, there's exceptions to every rule, but social media users are generally uninterested in videos that go longer than like a minute or two. So if you are doing a video, I would suggest keeping it under 2 minutes. Video is also a great opportunity to repurpose previous content in a way that may be more digestible. A prospect may not have had time to attend your webinar or a Zoom conference, but he or she can probably, spare a couple of minutes while scrolling through LinkedIn or other social media platforms to get the basic ideas. Yeah, you'd prefer if he got on the webinar or Zoom and fill out a form and all that, but building a reputation as a great video isn't too bad either. Plus, you can also reach a larger audience. The next one, talk about a little bit. It's search engine optimization. It's SEO, and it's an umbrella term in and of itself, referring to the practices that you can to use to make your content more visible in the search engine results pages. It doesn't really matter how sleek your post looks or how crisp your podcast sounds, unless your prospects can actually find you in the organic search results. Getting on page one, it's come to be rather difficult. I'm not an expert on this. There are people that do it. There are people that that's their business. They help you position yourself. So if that's of interest to anybody, the opportunities are certainly out there. And if you don't do this, for instance, if you Google a term and somebody can't find you, or if you're not in the top 3 or 4 or 5 pages as a business, people stop scrolling. You do, I do, we all do. So getting your stuff to the top might be a strategy you might want to explore. And there's goals, and there's other things like Google Ads and things like that. The goal is to acquire links to your content from other websites, basically. So I mean, SEO, it's a big part of inbound marketing, because people don't really, they don't visit the websites. They don't know that you exist. So the goals of inbound marketing is to find prospects, attract them with your opportunity, with your products, and convert them into customers who are purchasing the product, or ambassadors as part of your team. And finally, close the deal, collect the money, sign them up. It's pretty simple. But that is, you can see right there on the screen, that's why they call these funnels. And that's the process. So instead of going out, everybody, and we talked about this with the scripts too, it's not about drinking from a fire hose, and it's not about going out and going right from attracting them to trying to close them. There's a process between attracting them and that middle part there, the conversion, is very, very important. It's how you go from somebody you just met on the street to becoming a legitimate, warm lead. Again, it's really important to target the right people with a message that matters. So make your messages resonate. Again, targeting people based on who they are, what they need or want. Again, whether you're, focusing on a senior group, or a group of dog lovers, or people that like chess, or whatever it is, that sit in chairs and get up and they're stiff, whatever it is, you got to figure out who they are, what they need. And then you got to also pinpoint your timing as far as when you're getting the most attention, and when you can also answer questions quickly. So specify the exact moment you want people to receive a message on a Facebook page, and you can time these things. You can time your posts. And this is important, and you can follow and do your kind of own metrics and analytics and watch how and when it works best. We talked about some of those times on the Facebook Zoom as far as what has proven to be more effective than any other time. But it might differ for different groups of people. Powerful campaigns, that pretty much speaks for itself. You personalize the content, and you create a series of campaigns based on behavior. And again, Rachel Atkins is real good at this as far as some of the posts that she does on Facebook in terms of behavior. She knows, for instance, how much these people love their animals. Well, she's got a series of videos and posts about 2 out of her 3 dogs, which come up to her nightly and can't wait to get their product. And that's very powerful as well. So again, better ways to communicate, it means more ways to grow. So if you have a direct line to your customers, you send automated social media messages, connect with people when they're most ready to engage. That's what it means as far as timing and stuff. And go beyond just text, as I mentioned. Images, videos, apps, emojis, tell your story, drive action in the most powerful, engaging, personal way possible. We talked about staying away from beating people over the head with the product all the time, because they get turned off, and there's nothing engaging, there's nothing personal about that. And we're going to talk about emotion here in a few minutes. So why would somebody pick inbound attraction marketing? Okay, so it's following. Highly qualified leads. If you have somebody that reaches out to you based on their exposure to your content and your message that you've been broadcasting, if they reach out to you, they are what you call a highly qualified lead. If you have a friend that sees your posts and reaches out to you or asks you about it when you see them in public, that is a highly qualified lead. You can also pick inbound if you can afford to wait for these leads, because this is not a quick strategy here. You might need to keep putting stuff out there, and then you might develop these leads 3 weeks after posting twice a day, for instance. You just never know, but you do need to be able to be patient and be able to afford to wait for some of these leads. If your goal is to use a long-term strategy, then you can continue to generate leads well into the future with this. And it is the kind of thing that will build upon itself. Also, if you have a big team, And I will say that you do. You've got a big team behind you. You've got your other ambassadors. You've got the home office in Omaha, Nebraska, and myself and Candace and Billy and Ronnie and everybody else and Katie working on churning out valuable content and quickly. So let's go to now discussing, I would like to say briefly, but what outbound marketing is, previously referred to as interruption marketing. And it's basically focused, laser focused, sharply focused on reaching out to the customers with the help of what we call general media advertising. Target market makes quicker purchasing decisions, for instance. You target busier people. When your target market gets information from more traditional sources, such as word of mouth, or television, or print, you got to follow up to develop a relationship. Follow up is important no matter what kind of marketing we're talking about. Follow up, follow up, follow up. Somebody reaches out, asks a question, follow up immediately. You develop a relationship with these people. And this is also to reach out to the widest possible audience in the least amount of time. So if you paint a picture of your target market, then look at the demographics. Think about if there's anything in common as far as professional goals or life goals or their challenges. Study how they get information to make a purchasing decision. The answers to these will do more than help you decide on outbound marketing. It will also point you to which marketing channel is best for reaching them. If the right people don't know about your product, then what it comes down to is how they're going to buy it. So some examples of outbound marketing. Got a list here. We've got paid Google advertisements. I will say I did one of those as a test not long ago. Was actually pretty pleased. I wasn't prepared really to convert them, but I was actually pleased with the number of eyeballs that got on my ad. And it was also to see how much I could stretch Google a little bit, because there's certain things that they allow and don't allow. There's also paid Facebook advertisements. You can literally do an ad. You can pay for an ad. You can also pay to boost your posts and things like that on Facebook, all of which help. There's direct email marketing. There's direct mail. And again, direct mail is, when we say direct, this is direct marketing, for instance. Direct marketing is we're marketing directly to the consumer. There's no middleman. There's no retail outlet. So direct email marketing, direct mail goes directly to the consumer, usually using print marketing. There's other things such as trade shows. These are a little bit more out there, but trade shows. There's also billboards. There's tabletop, tent advertisements. There's locations that have stuff on the walls in their bathrooms, etc. It's wide open, really, is the point. There's flyers, and of course, for those of you who can afford it, there's TV ads and radio and things like that. And I'm going to wait on my TV commercial. So let's talk about a couple of different outbound marketing tactics, and these are really important, as you see in your screen. Okay, print and direct mail. This is probably one of those things that's within your reach. Again, it does cost money for postage, or if you have, I don't think people take kindly on solicitors as much as they used to, if they ever did. It's kind of like telemarketing and calling somebody during their dinner. So I don't know, but if you spring for postage, that's going to be your cost, as well as the materials themselves. And this can be really, really, really effective. And I will make another announcement here that we're going to have in the next few days, maybe by the end of the week, we are going to have these postcards. They're not shown here, but is that the one up to the top left? I can't see. It's so bad. But we will have postcards that are designed in a PDF form. They're in the back office. You can go download the template, and you can go right to a printer, your printer of choice, and you can print them out and sell them out and send them out. What you probably do is have to get a label maker. There'll be a place for your information. Go out and buy an inexpensive label maker, put your information on there, and you can send these things out. And if the information is done, correctly and formatted correctly, this is a great way of driving people to your website. This is one of those things that has been around since the beginning of time. It worked then, and it still works now. And so you can send out the business opportunity postcard, And as long as you have the correct message, it can be very, very beneficial to attracting people to you. You can take we also have brochures in the back office that order them, print out your labels with your name and your phone number, or email address and website, stick it on the white space on the brochure. You can also place them in different places. So you don't need to necessarily mail them out. There's coffee shops, there's bulletin boards, doctor's office, vet offices, gyms, hotels. If they don't allow you to leave the brochures, then you can sneak them in the magazines, and when somebody's reading through the magazine, they can open it up and there's your information. Anyway, you can do the same thing with your business cards. Again, it's all about getting the message out there to the largest amount of people. And where it might not convert somebody into a customer that afternoon that they see it, you've just put something in their head. And again, it takes, I think, 7 touch points before somebody actually makes a decision. So there's also some other things such as outdoor marketing. If anybody has the money to or the funds to do a billboard, let me know. I'd love to see it. I'm not sure I'd recommend that, but it's out there. We're mentioning it. Like I said, we do know people that pay for table advertisements and some other some other locations and things like that. So social media ads, like we talked about, where you go basically and pay for ads across any of your social media platforms, and you can get a lot of attention. But here's what I know, and here's what I'm learning. Again, there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot. I mean, we get marketed to constantly. We get marketed to every second that we're waking, actually. And so there's a lot of competition for your attention. So, but when done correctly, this what they call disruptive, and that means somebody's not coming to you on their own time. You're kind of saying, "Excuse me," and putting your toe in the door in their day. That's what this disruptive phrasing means. It does resonate with people in a way that some other approaches may not. And the most important point that people today forget is that the internet wasn't there, wasn't around years ago, but still brands were still there and they were still being promoted. So the time when the internet was not there, even products used to reach out to customers, like basically jungle fire in many of the cases, they used to reach out to people. So this is only possible really with the help of outbound marketing in those days. And you can't ignore the fact that when the internet was not there and the social media platforms were not there to spread up news so fast, the outbound marketing methods were there, and they actually did a great job in advertising about brands and products in a really good way. And it's only because of that kind of marketing and those advertisements that some of the brands have not lost their recognition even in public today. So it's meant also for the non-tech savvy people. We have phones and digital systems and all this other kind of high-tech stuff, and they've become one of the essential elements in life, of course. But there's a lot of people in this world who aren't very tech savvy. And so promoting a brand on social media sites, it's a great thing, number one, but because the exposure is huge. But there's also a lot of people who can be potential customers or ambassadors, but they're not on any such social media platforms. Especially when you look for one of the big target demographic audiences for us is seniors, for instance. And there's a lot of seniors that aren't necessarily tech savvy. So reaching people like that can be challenging. But outbound marketing is something that everyone can do. Everyone can do this. It's very effective in kind of penetrating the audience base that isn't on in the digital world. Your older generation, your seniors, like I said, they love printed material. Direct mail is probably as effective as anything else for seniors because they love to pick things up. It's still a generation that would prefer a newspaper over getting your news from, MSN.com or something, or whatever your site you go to. They love it. They don't like it splashy. They like it black and white. They like it simple, easy to read, large print. And something else I learned, they don't like it glossy, because I think when they're wearing glasses, a lot of them, they don't like the reflection. That's my little tip for y'all tonight. But you can, again, research the people you're trying to reach. So Why do you use outbound or interruption marketing? Is to get more, generally it's quickly, because you're sending something out to the masses. It's also a very powerful short-term strategy. Again, it's all a numbers game, and you also don't have time to wait for the returns from the more patient inbound approaches and waiting for people to come to you. The last thing about marketing that I want to talk about, we talk about this all the time. I hope it resonates. I don't know who has done their vision boards, for instance. I don't know who has written down their goals and objectives. But there's a couple of things that you can do as you begin, your business, and that's to identify, again, your why, your reason why. What is driving you emotionally to develop a successful business? Your why is your long-term vision for success in your business. So, okay, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. For instance, if time and money were no issue, how would your life look? Where would you live? What kind of house would you live in? What would you drive? What would you do with your time? Would you have any debt? In other words, what will a successful business do for your life? And that's importantly, or more importantly, your family's life and your lifestyle. So again, we're going to kind of, wind this down with, again, I want you to clearly write down why you are doing your business. And the more specific you are, the more powerful it'll be. And make it compelling. Make it compelling, make it real. So it causes you to find the time, face your fears, and persevere. So is your reason why to have a college fund for your children, to pay off debt, buy your dream home, travel, become more self-reliant? You're funding your own retirement. For me, I have several different categories of my why. I have some selfish things, some things I want to check off my bucket list. I still want to get my pilot's license. I still want to jump out of an airplane. Those two things aren't at the same time, by the way. I want a house at the beach, or a condo at the beach. And then I have another category which I kind of put in the category of fulfillment, because again, I think your why has to include something like this in order to be fulfilled. Again, I've lived in big houses and I didn't feel any better when I walked out in the morning and said, "You see that tree? I own it." So I have worked with a couple of charities in the past here with my comedy shows, and one of them is to help women in transition, some women who have been essentially rescued from sex trafficking. And so there's a couple of organizations here in Charlotte. Well, you know what? I kind of think, wouldn't it be great to be able to build a couple of small homes for these women with children who, they get out of it, but then what do they do? Anyway, so that's the kind of thing that I think about, and I think about other people and how I can help them. One is also the people that I bring to this business to help them achieve their goals. That's another why for me. I remember when I was, talking with one of my mentors, and she asked me, she said, "What's your reason why?" And I told her those things, and she said that, those are all very good. She goes, "And how much will that cost?" And I couldn't even begin to fathom. And she asked me, "How does that feel?" And I said, "Got to be honest with you, it's a little overwhelming, when you try to bite off all of that in one bite, you know what I mean?" And because my whys were so big that sometimes, instead of serving as motivators, they can actually demotivate you. So you can get so overwhelmed by those dreams that you can feel defeated. And if you feel defeated, it's easy for you to want to quit when you get discouraged, because you don't really feel like it's possible to realize those dreams. But I also then got some great advice from her And she said to break down my reason why into achievable goals so I could celebrate small successes on the way to my big dream. Part of my small successes are the people that I bring in the business, helping them get started, helping them get their 2 people, helping them get their first check. Those are small incremental successes that are really, really important. I started a business. Once I got into this, I told y'all, I didn't look back, and this is going to work. I started a business. I got a separate bank account. It allows me to put aside, a little bit of my checks each week. And I'm thinking about doing something nice now. I was inspired by a friend of my daughter's who I saw recently around Thanksgiving, who went out with her own dime. She's young, she doesn't have money, and bought a bunch of materials to make bag lunches. And she went to uptown Charlotte and she just gave them out to people that were living on the streets. I mean, talk about inspiring. So I've got some money that I've kind of put aside that's going to fund the same thing, because I think probably about a week, I'm going to round up my friends and say, I'm not going to ask them. I'm going to say, this is what we're doing. And we're going to do the same thing. And the reason that this is important is I've heard this said by people in this profession, but I've heard it too, that your why should make you cry. And what that means is that your why should move you emotionally and keep you enthusiastic about this, about what we're doing. During all the ups and downs, people you get enrolled, people that drop out, etc. All the normal stuff that any entrepreneur is going to face. But it also helps you to downplay or remain disciplined even during your disappointments, not to deviate from our mission, and it keeps you driven by your dream, because everybody has ups and downs, challenges, achievements, successes, disappointments. But when you're clear about your reason why, what you're doing is you will continue to be driven by your dream, towards your dream, rather than being discouraged by your disappointments. I once heard somebody say something I will never forget. There's 2 types of people in this world: those that gravitate towards pleasure and those that gravitate away from pain. And it's important because your dream here, the pleasure, the fulfillment aspect of this, is what you're gravitating towards, not just getting to a safe zone. So I encourage you to, write down, your why, and share it with your sponsor, and share it with, your significant other or your accountability partner, or whoever it is, and, post it, put it on your mirror, your bathroom mirror. Start your day like that. Anyway, so all this stuff about marketing, all these things we're talking about, I know it's overwhelming. I know it's a lot of information, but it plays into the question, what are you willing to do? How much are you willing to do to achieve your goals and to create the life that you want, and possibly introduce this opportunity and help other people create the life that they want? It's there and it's out there. And this is it, as I've said, this is it. You can feel confident knowing what I know, which is we have an amazing product that's health changing, life changing. We have a solid company that is building things to last and to make things as easy as possible for you to succeed. Before I stop, I had a conversation with Candace, and we had a conversation. There was one particular person that came up, and some challenge dealing, not necessarily an ambassador, so don't read anything into that. But I said, I tell you right now why I'm doing this, Candace, why I've kind of jumped in here, is because I believe in this product. I believe in this company. And I said, I believe in you. And I also believe in myself. And I can say that to everybody else out there that's made the leap of faith to join us. On that note, I'm going to stop talking. I know that was a lot of information tonight. Again, I hope it has some value as far as opening your eyes or thinking outside the box. Again, it's not meant to solve every problem you've got with starting a business, but when you use this information with some of the other information and the resources and tools that we're creating for you, it's all meant to, again, go into your toolkit, as I said, and add up to where the sum is certainly greater than the parts. Before we get to tonight's questions, already got so sullen on everybody. Postcards, again, back office. And we can go over that a little bit more in detail, Greg, with you during question and answers. We do have somebody that I'm going to have Billy introduce to us. Because
I want to jump in there while you're on that powerful. Jeff, thank you. That was a lot of information. I just want to say a couple things. I took about 4 sticky notes worth of notes, but I'm not going to share that with you guys. What Jeff just did was give us a ton of information that is going to help us. All I can tell you is, as you mentioned at the beginning of that, this was being recorded. Please go to your back office and go back and watch this tomorrow. It will be uploaded where you can learn and pause and go through it and take this in. Obviously, inbound, outbound marketing is king these days with our line of business and our industry. So please take advantage of this, go in there and really absorb it and take a little bit at a time and just work with it and try it. But when it comes to your why, I want to introduce you guys someone, my newest ambassador that joined us today. Randall Fulbright is someone that's really just their story, and this really goes to show my why. Her and her son have forever changed me and just show the power of exactly what we're working with and how this can change people's lives. So Randall signed up as a retail customer. She reached out to me through a friend of a friend, heard that, told her to get in contact with me. We have some pretty amazing products and might be able to help her. From there, I got on a phone call with Randall, got her a 1,000 milligram tincture and started her 2-year-old son named Dakota on these products. We're working on about 2 weeks here, 2 weeks time. Within 4 days, Randall reached out to me and blew my mind. So Randall, I wanna get you on here. I have to unmute her because she is new to Zoom, new to Reaction. So I'm gonna go ahead and unmute her here, let her get on here and tell her story. Can you hear me, Randall?
I can. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. Okay. So I'm Randall. No one can see me. I don't know how to work this thing yet. But so we started with you, like you said, a friend through a friend. And we started with the products about 2 weeks ago. Like you said, in about 4 days, we realized that there was something different. His therapist had come in. Dakota has occupational therapy as well as special instruction therapy. He is autistic, and he does have a lot of challenges that we all face as a family together daily. He is nonverbal, so you can just imagine someone that fully needs you 100% 24/7 not being able to verbally tell you what they need. So it's constantly a game of charades in retrospect. So we started on the product, and within 4 days, his communication skills had soared. Like, he still can't talk to me, but he is learning to remember where things are, what things mean, so now he can direct us towards the object or whatever it is that he needs. He's learning how to communicate with us without words at the moment. He has calmed down a lot. He used to be completely bouncing off the walls, couldn't get calm, was having major meltdowns, probably 3 or 4 a day, if not more than that. They could last anywhere from 15 minutes to 45 minutes. It just depended on what was going on with him. So starting Reaction, we have realized that it has helped him calm down tremendously. We do still have a few meltdowns, but it has went from 3 to 4 a day to more like 2 to 3 a week. So that's a massive decrease in the meltdowns. which allows us not to stress as much, because it's very hard to try to console someone that's pretty much inconsolable. So that's been the biggest aspect for us when we realized that this was going to be a great way for us to help our son. We had started with 3 doses of the 1,000 milligram, and we tried to knock that down to 2. And we quickly realized that was not something that we needed to do. And I think that once we realized that he needed it, so when we didn't give him his lunchtime CBD dose, he was very upset when he woke up. And in a full-blown meltdown, he acted like he was in pain. He couldn't tell us what was going on. It took us a while to get him to calm down enough to drink his chocolate milk, which we had in him, because as we all know, it's not the best tasting in the world. So my 2-year-old is not enjoying that part. So we had it in chocolate milk, and within 30 minutes of him having his dose of CBD, he had completely changed into a different kid. He was okay. He was lovable again. He was honestly ready to get his blankie and watch his movie and just lay in bed and chill out. So once we got to that point where we realized, okay, so we took it away and then we gave it back, and within 30 minutes, he's completely fine. I think that was the biggest proof for us right there that this is going to be a journey that we're going to be on for a very long time. And we have a very, very good feeling about the success that's going to come from it.
Wow. Thank you, Randall. And if you guys can imagine, most of what I've been learning from this, obviously autism is something that is pretty well known nowadays. It's something that a lot of people are facing. So when I was fortunate enough to work with Randall and her son Dakota on this at 2 years old, this is amazing. We're not learning from words here. We're learning from actions, and the way that this has impacted this little boy through the results that we're seeing this quick. Obviously, we can't make testimonials or we can't make medical claims. All we have is testimony. So I've been very upfront with Randall this whole process about just sharing with me. Keep me posted on a day to day and let me know what's going on. That way I can share this with all the other ambassadors in the company. But I just want to sum it up with this. When it comes to what is your why, there's people out there, and I'll be the first one to admit it. You start thinking about big houses and everything to do with money, materialistic things. I don't think as we continue to be ambassadors and climb through the ranks and reach success, the little things in life are so big, and being able to help people. So I just want to share that with you guys. Thank you, Randall, and welcome to the team. Welcome to Reaction and My Life Simple. We're so excited.
Thank you. I'm truly excited to be here. You know, when you drive over an hour to pick up product because it's not going to get to your house quick enough, you know it's real. And I wouldn't have done that today if I really didn't need my tincture. So we're excited about it, and we're going to see where it goes. So I'm glad to be a part of it, and thank you for bringing me on. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Randall, thanks very, very much for sharing that. I have not met you or your son, but again, like I say, when we hear testimonies like this, I say, this is why we're doing this. So thank you very much for sharing that with us. Before we get on to the Q&A session, kids, I do have the announcements for the winners of tonight. We are giving away a 500 milligram strength full-size orange tincture.
Ooh.
And we're also giving away a full-size, I guess, either pump or salve. Is that correct, home office? Of the Renew. Oh, it's the salve, as David said. It's the salve. So the winners, again, just drawn by our representative from Price Waterhouse from our home office in Omaha, Nebraska. Billy, drum roll, please. The winner of the orange tincture, the very new orange tincture, is Randall Fulbright.
Oh,
is Randall.
Look at that.
Is that Randall? Oh,
Randall.
I got a text saying it was Randall. Randall.
Randall, she's a winner. She doesn't know how to unmute herself yet, but I'm
okay,
sure
that's
she
okay.
appreciates
Well,
it.
how about that? All right. That's good.
Hey, I think I learned how to unmute myself. Did
There
it
we
work?
go.
Ah! Thank you.
Here you go. You just got yourself some orange tincture. And the
Check that out.
winners.
That's great.
And the winner of the Renew salve is Andrew Metler. Is Andrew still with us?
Andrew's still with us. Congratulations, Andrew.
Again,
So both new products. That's pretty special because you guys are going to be some of the first people in the entire company to get your hands on these new products.
That's right. Yep. That's amazing. Well, congratulations to Randall and to Andrew. We can move on to the question and answer session. If anyone has any questions or answers or comments or thoughts.
Let's open up the chat bar. We know our shy ones here. No?
All right, I'm not shy. It's Rachel.
There we go.
Hey, I just wanted to let you guys know I visited with my doctor. She's a little different. She's one of those doesn't use insurance. She wasn't always like that, but I've been she has events at her practice, and she promotes them on Facebook and I've kind of been nudging her. I don't go to the doctor very often, thank goodness, right? Because of these products, but I went just get my scripts, whatever, for blood work, whatever. And I was like, can I do an event in your practice? And she was like, yeah, well, just let me know in January, Wednesday or Thursday night, I'll promote it. And we're pretty excited. You know how David and I roll. So all I can say is don't give up, take advantage of the opportunity. I got a lot out of the call tonight. Jeff, thank you so much. Very heartfelt, lots of great information. But chiropractor, we see a chiropractor. He's been very natural chiropractor, but yet very scared of these products, part of that 97%, even though he's all vegan, natural, all these things, has supplements on his shelves, treats a lot of young children. So when I went for an adjustment last week, I brought 2 edibles and I said, would you and your wife, because we've been to dinner with them, it's been a few years, try these. So David went in for an adjustment this week, and what happened?
He said to me, hi guys, he actually said, what am I going to feel from these? I'm concerned. And I said, Nick, you're just going to feel relaxed. You're not going to get any headness or any psychedelic effect from these. And he says, okay, I'm on board. So Rachel's going to see him tomorrow. So hopefully he and his wife will have eaten the edibles.
Hopefully he got past the fear. Isn't that crazy? The fear. And the last
double
thing
teaming them
is we went to our favorite country club where we have gotten some business from our event. And David got to talk to the owner of the country club last Saturday night about Ron Hornaday Jr.
And he is a big Ron Hornaday Jr. fan. And he would love an event at the country club. He'll promote it. He'll get people in. And if we can get Ron up here and Lindy, that would be huge.
Yep. So stay tuned.
Okay, I'm going to speak for Ron here, who I think is probably watching.
He's on.
And we've said this, if people can, arrange an event, and we know for sure that a certain, number of people are going, then we will do Lindy. We'll get Lindy there, and I'm sure Lindy will get Ron there. And as I've said, even if we have to tie him up and put him in the new trailer to get him up there, the new camper.
Hey, Jethro or William.
There he is.
I first of all, I didn't know they were going to say anything like that, but I'm more than welcome to help the product out because I believe in it thoroughly. And when this thing first started, you're only allowed to have one of your household be involved, and I just found out them two are on the same tree and they're making money together. So I kind of blew what I was going to say. But other than I learned so much off this Zoom. If you look at my little cell phone, I carry Lindy's cards. And I see them old farts when I see in Wickenburg and myself, and we're limping getting up in the morning. I said, let me rub this on your shoulder. So I believe in the product thoroughly. It's amazing for what what I've learned off these Zoom meetings and not ever going to one of your spills, or you call that, at one of these shows. But I'm really impressed with how you guys handle this, and I'm thoroughly about the product. So anybody who wants to get better and be old like me and feel good, let's go.
And again, guys, everybody needs to realize, Ron, thank you very much for making an appearance tonight. You got a lot of fans out there. But what's important to...
I make an appearance every week. I've been watching every week, so I'm making sure you guys are doing your job so we can all be healthy, and I really appreciate it to really believe in what Candace is important here.
Yeah, it's important for everybody to know, Ron. I think that, again, this is the case of what comes first, the chicken or the egg. The product didn't come first, and now we're trying to find ways to use it or to promote it. This product sprung from Candace's story. You also tried the product very, very early on, and if there's anybody who knows what pain is, it's Ron, who was bounced around inside of a race car for 30 years, who swears by the benefits of the relief cream. And so we couldn't get a better testimony than hearing it from you, Ron. Thank you.
Right, say it again.
You guys are welcome, and thank you for a great product.
Thanks, Ron. Appreciate it. And as he said, we get enough people to start spreading this message. Doesn't matter where you are in this country, we will take this show on the road, as we've said. So we'll make that offer to anybody. Okay. Any other questions, comments, thoughts, ideas?
Except for the ladies' night, because we're not allowed, Jeff.
Well, that's right. We got another event coming up Thursday night here in Huntersville. It's another women's-only event that Billy and I will not be attending. But the first one we had, I think about 3 or 4 weeks ago, went really, really well. And we're looking for another success Thursday night with that. And remember also to tune in tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, for Lindy and Victoria's product Zoom, where they're going to be talking about the new products. After that, keep your eyes on your emails, folks, because we've got some really, really exciting stuff, as I mentioned, that's coming your way here very, very shortly.
Hey, Jeff, I just wanted to say one thing. When I was watching your presentation tonight, which I thought was very impressive, I think that everybody on here, if they haven't been on Jenny Flowers or Rachel Atkins' Facebook, they really seriously need to go there. They both do such an awesome job. I was at the hospital all day long with my sister-in-law today, and when I got on my Facebook, the first thing that popped up was Jenny Flowers' thing this morning on Facebook saying, "I'm so excited. I just got an email about the new products." And the way she put it, it's like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I already got the email too. I already know, but I'm so excited. I got to read this. So they do a really wonderful job on their Facebook, and everybody can learn a whole bunch from just looking at their posts and how they do it. It's very professional. It's very friendly. It's not overpowering. They do a really good job. So everybody do try to go and check out how they are handling their business, because they're very, very good.
And it's personable, and it's not in your face. It's like, here it is again. Just it puts it out there, and that is what inbound marketing is all about, right there. So I don't know
they're
if
educating. They're educating everybody as well, which they're great examples of the 3%ers, the people that are really educated and knowledgeable, and they want to share that. Not only are they sharing that they have amazing products, but they're teaching every piece of the plant, every different product that we have to offer. I applaud them. I myself, as an ambassador, wish and really need to take advantage and kind of follow their tracks as far as what they're doing. It's huge on everything that Jeff's been teaching us tonight. I hope everyone goes back and watches the recording and takes good notes and just guide yourself off what those two are doing, because it's pretty special.
Yeah, so I don't know, Rachel, if you're still with us or if Jenny's there, maybe put out your information on how people can kind of get tapped in, or what the name of your page is on Facebook. If not, then we can certainly get that information to anybody who requests it. Again, like Billy said, it's a good example to take a look at. So, all right. So, guys, again, thank you for joining in. Stay tuned for more big messages. I hope everybody has an absolutely great rest of their evening, and we will talk to all of you very, very soon. Have a great week.
Thank you, everyone.